Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to get started on the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat Kano. So, let's get started. I gotta say, Kano is not one of my personal favorites. He used to beat the bricks off me in Mortal Kombat. I guess I was just a bad matchup against him. Because between the cannonball and slicing and dicing me in later games, I was like, I found out the wrong way. But yeah. So let's get started. Depending on which continuity you enjoy your Kano, especially after the new announcement of the game, you will get a red or black Dragon Kano, and you can mix and match your style. I say have fun, but I'm going to say that this is one of the first original 3 games costumes. I honestly cannot remember back that far at this moment. It's just a lot going on. my memory is shot. But yeah, look at it. This guy looks good. We have our metal faceplate attachment, right? We have our gi. We have our bandolier with gear, right? And then I do enjoy the fact that the knives are attached at the feet, but then they're sheathable. And I left them in there so you can kind of see what you got going on here, and I like that. So let's talk about our body and sculpt, and then we'll talk about articulation. Like I said, we have our gi here and bandolier, and I think my table just broke. That is not a good look. But this gi up here is still soft plastic, so as you can see here, you can mess around with it, so it should not mess up any sort of articulation. We can lift our arms up, get into a T-pose. I know that's everybody's favorite. I love T-posing. T-pose, right? We can look up, we can look down, and this is mostly thanks to that soft plastic, right? As we said before, like that soft plastic will allow you to, it will prevent any sort of issues with ab crunch. So you can see we can still move forward. It'll leave a little bit of an opening here. This really shouldn't bother you, but if it does, what you can do is move it right back in and just try to tuck the inside of the body. And as you can see here, you shouldn't have any sort of issue. I would not recommend folding your face into your chest though. I'm pretty sure it's bad for your health, right? This will cause the gi to rise up, but all you can do is push it back down and push your torso back, and that should even it back out to the proper length, right? We do have a bicep swivel. We have a double joint. The gauntlets themselves are actually removable as well, like with most Storm stuff. Then we have our belt, which is loose fitting, and I think it's perfect because if you had it on too tight, it would rise up or rise down, and we kind of don't want to deal with that. We have a soft plastic flap. Our legs can go outward with little to no issue. When we put them back, let's check out if we have a drop down. We do not, but we can lift our leg up under 90 degrees, which is a little bit of a bummer, but let's just double check, right? Let's lift our belt up just a little bit with our plastic. And actually, no, we can get 90 degrees, so it's not really a bummer, right? We do have a thigh swivel as well. It's more outward than it is inward. We have a double joint. How far it extends, I think we're going to have a little bit of a bump here. I think if we move down our sheath, yeah, we get a little bit better of a movement, right? You get backwards movement on our ankle pivot. You can go a little bit forward. You have toe hinge, and you can rotate in, right? And out. Ooh, any outie, like a belly button, right? So there you have it for the movement for Kano. So when you want to be a jerk, because Kano is definitely a jerk, right? When we talk about movement on Kano, I think we can move in with the Aussie movements. There we go. Get those ankles outward, tuck them in. There we go. I think we can still get some pretty decent moves. I think the ankles here are going to be the big thing that you worry about because it's the outward anything. But I think once you've positioned them correctly, you should be okay. And that is always a plus. With that being said, though, I want to jump into those accessories. So I'm going to put this guy back up in a standing pose, and then I'm going to pause it. I'll see you guys. All right. Ooh, let me back it on up just a little bit. Ooh, yeah. So now we're going to talk about the accessories. I guess we should start out with our weapons. So let's do that. As you saw before, we have Kano's knives, because that's not a knife. This is a knife. And with his knife, these are really big knives. What's crazy about this is that they include inside the sheath because it's sheathable, and I always like style like that. I'm not a big part swap guy. If I can avoid that, I will. I like sheathing it. It's always a plus for me. But then outside of this version, we actually have our, I want to call them the activated versions. These you'll get when you're throwing it, using it for slicing and dicing, kind of what you've seen in the combos back then. These light really well, like when you get some lighting behind them. Like, look at that. That's really, really good. So keep these in mind, because actually, Really like these, right? Next up, you will start with alternative sculpts because I'm gonna get to the eye laser part, but we need to cover the sculpts first. So one of our sculpts is going to be our grit teeth sculpt. This is like a Borg version of Patrick Stewart. I'm not against it though, because Patrick Stewart is Patrick Stewart, and I'm here for it. And it gives me Patrick Stewart vibes, right? Then we have our yelling sculpt, right? Again, followed up with the Borg kind, but it is a solid and good sculpt. Really like it. And last but not least, you have your eye, which comes for your eye laser. As you can see, there is a socket there for you to plug it in. Now, our eye laser is actually pretty long, right? When you plug it in, you got to match that part up of the eye. Otherwise, it won't stay in properly. Look at that. Come on, focus, bro. Focus. There we go. And as you can see, you could literally, just by turning it, it could reach here. So yeah, this is a solid piece, and it actually stays. It might wiggle a little bit, but it stays, well, until that point. I don't think I had it all the way in, but for horizontal reasons, it stays. Vertical, actually, let's try it again. Nope, I just didn't have it all the way in. Vertical-wise, it stays in, right? So I just didn't have it all the way in. Then you will get a reactionary part to the laser. This can also attach. So you can, if you want to attach it to the piece, there is a small tab here, right at the bottom. If you wanted to attach it or sit it on top, I'm pretty sure that's what that piece is for. But I could be wrong. Let's try again. I'm pretty sure. But I could be wrong. I just want to make sure this doesn't tab in. And I'm wrong. See? I could be wrong about stuff. So this is your attached to the body. Use it as the end of a laser piece. It'll look really, really good. This is a solid piece. This can also be used as a crazy wild blood splatter effect. And it's soft enough too that you don't have to worry about breakage should it fall. Next up, for your noise, there's also an effect part for swiping across. I'm going to use this as like a reactionary crackle effect when you use your knives. Slicing and dicing people open. And then next up, you have a heart. This is going to be for Kano's fatality. When you can rip out a heart, always a plus. For real, for real. Then you'll have sets of hands. And this is actually pretty important for your hands because obviously you need to be able to hold your knives. So you do have knife holding hands. Right? Then you'll get some awesome gripping hands. And I do like these gripping hands a lot because it feels like actioning. I always like that Storm includes a lot of hands. Next up, you get some open slapping hands. That's what I'm going to call them, the open slap hands. Oh, this is a Wu-Tang one. Right? Next up, you get some more open hands. Oop, sorry, mix that batch up. These are more open action oriented. More or less grip. Like this is less of grip and more like open actually. Actually, open actiony. And then you have your semi-relaxed hands that you'll get. And overall, I'm truly enjoying the Mortal Kombat stuff. And even with the 3 boots, reboots, and prequel suit boots, I'm here for it. Because technically at this point, all the timelines matter. Because at some point, they've become relevant and things have happened. So it's pretty dope that however you want to imagine Mortal Kombat now, it technically all matters. And I'm always here for that kind of stuff. For real, for real. So without further ado, we're going to compare Kano to a bunch of other Storm Mortal Kombat stuff and other lines in line with Storm, because we already know these guys are bigger, so let's get to it. Alright guys, now we're going to jump into the size comparison. I'm not going to do it a whole lot because we're doing just Storm stuff, so I'm going to give it a brief run. And I like that the Storm stuff is all different sizes. It may not be sizes that people like, but I'm here for it for certain stuff, especially certain people being smaller, taller. Obviously, Kintaro, Goro, Motaro being gigantic is always a plus. First up, let's do Liu Kang and your boy Raiden, right? So we got some Earthrealm warriors on the good side, because Kano fights for Outworld, but he's a whole Earthrealmer. He's a jerk is what he is. And as you can see, these guys are all different sizes, and I'm here for it. It's not like it's too big or too small, but it does definitely work. Next up, we have your boy Sub-Zero, Kuai Liang. This is important too, because depending on what continuity you're in, these two also have beef. You know what I mean? And I feel like them being around the same height is totally fine. Next up, you have your boy Cyber Smoke. And revisiting this older figure, I'm really really here for the Cyber Ninjas. I wish we had gotten more colors. I would have been all over that. Then I'm going to toss in a larger Mortal Kombat character, so you can see just how much bigger he is compared to them. Even with my hand here and showing them, look at that. Look. Don't even come up to the waist, because this boy is a big boy. And then just for fun, we're going to throw in your boy King, who draws in Spanish from Tekken. I feel like I got to give my boy King a whole lot more love. Right? And as you can see, these guys scale a little bit smaller to other Storm stuff. So that still starts them around 7 inches most of the time, which is pretty big. But if you really enjoy this line and you're going to collect them for what they are, you're going to have a good time, especially considering the effect parts that they come with are always a plus. In the meantime, guys, I hope that you've truly enjoyed. I hope you've been and continue to have a good day, night, bubble bath. It doesn't matter. Have a good thing for yourself today. And as always, be good, do good. Drink your water, guys. Later.